The sun is high over the Pocono Mountains on a gorgeous summer afternoon. Hello, everybody. I'm Dwayne Dow, and how proud we are at the Mislew Television Network to be able to present to you on our 20th anniversary a first-class sporting event, the 9th annual Pocono Mountain Dew 500, featuring the greatest Grand National stock car drivers in America. Darrell Waltrip has won 6 Grand National stock car events up to this one. Bobby Allison has won 4, including the spring race, which we hope many of you saw right here on the Mislew Television Network, emanating from Pocono. Who will win the checkered flag this time? Oh, there are many, many candidates. It'll have to be a fast car and a driver with great skill. And to tell you more about it, let's go to our play-by-play announcing team. Come on in, Rick Benjamin and Dick Brooks.
Thank you, Dwayne Dow, and good afternoon, everyone. Indeed, a picture-perfect afternoon here in the Pocono Mountains at Pocono International Raceway. Huge crowd on hand, and they are expecting 500 miles of fender-banging Winston Cup Grand National stock car action, the kind of racing we've seen all season long on this Winston Cup Tour. It's been very competitive. Bobby Allison won the first race of the year here a couple of months ago. We'll see if he can make it 2 straight. To work with us on the telecast today, we'd like to welcome a true veteran of the Grand National Wars from Porterville, California, great driver Dick Brooks. Dick, it's good to have you with us.
Well, I'm just tickled to death to be here. I'll tell you, this weather is so great, and it's a beautiful sight up here from where we are. I've generally been on the track, you know, and you're going around down there with all the dust and the smoke, and you sit up here in a pretty clear weather and look out over the mountains, and I'll tell you, it's a treat for the people, and it's certainly a treat for me.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing some great racing action out on the Speedway. We'll be back with that event right after this.
And the 4th fastest qualifier, Bobby Allison. Allison was the 10th car on the track in the morning workouts, in the morning qualifying. Allison qualified at 149.721.
Well, he was the fastest on the first practice day on Friday, and everybody was talking about, you know, he would be the one to beat, and everybody was trying to get running fast as he was running. And then on Saturday, he and Ricky Rudd and Harry Gant were running pretty much the same. But still, we thought Bobby Allison would pull enough out, you know, to beat everybody else. But, you know, he looked real smooth on his qualifying laps, and, you know, everybody was looking for a good time out of him. And it was a good time, just wasn't good enough to beat the other guys.
The Daytona 500 champion, the Vanscoy 500 champion, Allison. Here is Morgan Shepherd, 5th fastest qualifier. Morgan Shepherd in car at 98, so he'll be on the inside of row 3. The 6th fastest qualifier on the outside of row 3, Tim Richmond. Already he's won a Grand National event this season in California. The 7th fastest qualifier, a familiar face, one tough customer, Dale Earnhardt. And the 8th fastest qualifier is Terry Labonte. Terry Labonte, the Winston Cup points leader up until this race. The 9th fastest qualifier is Darrell Waltrip. There he is, number 11 in the Mountain Dew Buick. And the 10th fastest qualifier on the outside of row 5, rookie Jeff Bodine.
And setting the rest of the field for this afternoon's event, the 6th row, Richard Petty and Bill Elliott. Moving to the 7th row, Ron Bouchard and Joe Ruttman. In the 8th, Mark Martin and Buddy Baker. 9th row, Kyle Petty and Jody Ridley. Row number 10, Charlie Baker and Ronnie Thomas. The 11th row, Lake Speed and Dave Marcus. Row 12, Buddy Arrington and Tommy Gale. In the 13th, Jimmy Means and James Hilton. 14th row, J.D. McDuffie and Bobby Waywack. The 15th, Al LaQuesto and Joe Boer. The 16th, Tom Hessert and Rick Newsom. Then it's Cecil Gordon, Giacomo Giacomo, Mike Potter, John Callis. And that will set the field. 36 cars for the Mountain Dew 500 here at Pocono International Raceway. Cale Yarborough and Harry Gant on the lead row as the field moves through turn 3, and Dick Brooks. Should be 500 exciting miles of NASCAR action coming up.
Well, there's no question about that. I think it's going to be a very, very good race today. It's good weather. Everybody's up for it. It got a good crowd. And I think that they weren't expecting Cale to do what he's done, so they're going to try to beat him to the line.
Green flag waving from Richard Meeks of Westchester, Pennsylvania, the winner of the Mountain Dew 500 sweepstakes. He guessed the pole sitter as Cale Yarborough, and the 1982 Mountain Dew 500 is underway. Yarborough and Harry Gant the lead row. Yarborough in the Valvoline Buick takes it low into turn 1, and he has the early lead, and we are underway. 200 laps to go around this 2.5-mile tri-oval in the beautiful Pocono Mountains. Yarborough, your leader. Ricky Rudd in the Piedmont Airlines number 3 goes inside Gant as they head down the Long Pond straightaway. Rudd dicing with Gant for the 2nd spot. Your leader continues to be Yarborough as we work back through the field on the Mislew Television Network. Yarborough starting to stretch the lead. Here's Dale Earnhardt on the move in the Wrangler Jeans machine. Earnhardt up to 4th. He is challenging for 3rd, and he tries to get inside Rudd, and he does, to take over 2nd. First lap of the race, and Dale Earnhardt, one tough customer, is really putting a move on in the Wrangler Jeans Thunderbird. As they come off turn 3 to complete lap number 1, your leader will be Cale Yarborough from Timmonsville, South Carolina, in the MC Anderson Buick, car number 27 with the Valvoline colors on that automobile. Field stringing out just a little bit. Earnhardt is second. Working into third spot, the Piedmont Pontiac of Ricky Rudd, as the field takes it low down into turn number 1. Anderson's car with Yarborough up in the front, and Earnhardt and the Bud Moore Ford trying to move up. Rudd is third. Fourth spot is Harry Gant. Richard Petty back at about 6. Dick Brooks, and Petty's always run real well here at Pocono.
Petty does run well at Pocono. A good flat track is his type of track. He's got most of his races that he won on this particular type of track. I'd like to say something about Earnhardt. Earnhardt started out like in the 7th place. He moved all the way into second on the first lap. Well, that particular turn, the last turn we watched, he pushed up a little bit. If you notice, Cale was down at the bottom of the track. Earnhardt pushed up in the middle of the track, and that's the tendency of the car's pushing a little bit. If he's in a draft, he'll run strong. If he's not, he's going to push a little bit. So we'll have to see what happens to his car.
Earnhardt trying to reel in Cale Yarborough here in the early going of the Mountain Dew 500 at Pocono International Raceway. Great to have you along this afternoon on the Ms. Lou Television Network. Yarborough leading the field, showing some strength in that MC Anderson car. Cale's won a couple of events this year on the Winston Cup Tour, and he looks as though he wants to make a strong run here in the early going as they head down the Long Pond straightaway. Yarborough by about 8 car lengths. We'll be back with more of the Mountain Dew 500 after these messages. Back here at Pocono International Raceway, the Mountain Dew 500 underway. Cale Yarborough is your leader. Bobby Allison charging into second spot in the Gatorade Buick, the number 88. Darrell Waltrip moving into third. Tim Richmond moving up on the outside. Dale Earnhardt right behind in fourth spot. Richmond bumping to the outside and dropping back a couple of spots. Big draft, lots of cars working toward the front, but right now it's Cale Yarborough on the point as we see Richard Petty swing down low, trying to move up on the Long Pond straightaway. Field heading toward turn 2. Earnhardt to the inside, goes underneath Waltrip and picks up the third spot. Yarborough your leader, Allison is second, Earnhardt is third as they come toward turn 3. King Richard Petty in the STP Pontiac, car number 43, moving toward the front of the field. As we mentioned, always a strong runner at Pocono. Back in June, Petty had the field covered for much of the race, had fuel problems with about 40 laps to go, and that cost Richard the victory. Still looking for his first Winston Cup win of the year. Yarborough with about a 12-car length lead as the field makes it down the front straightaway. Cale, the pole sitter this afternoon, running very, very strongly here in the early going. Allison, the winner of the first race here at Pocono this season. He and Earnhardt go for it for second spot, and Earnhardt makes the pass cleanly as they dive into turn 1. And that drops Allison back to third spot. Waltrip is fourth. Harry Gant riding in 5th position. 500-mile race. First car is out of the event this afternoon. Dwayne Dow in the pits with Tom Hessert, our first casualty.
Well, rookie Tom Hessert is the first man out of the race. Tom, what happened?
It was pretty bad. I was going around the turn. The car was feeling well. I felt very comfortable. Wasn't worried a bit. And somebody dropped some oil back on the straightaway on the back part in the third turn, and I lost it right there.
Welcome to big-time stock car racing.
Yeah, I thought I was going to make it a lot longer. I'm a little disappointed, but everything will be fine. I'll do it again.
We're going to hear more from Tom Hessert.
Oh, definitely. This is only once. I'll go out and practice some more, and I'll be in the next one.
The 35 cars are still in competition around this 2.5-mile speedway. Tim Richmond in the J.D. Stacy Buick running in 6th spot right now. Richmond with 1 GN win under his belt already this year, showing a lot of promise. Field entering turn 1. Earnhardt in 2nd spot. Bobby Allison is 3rd. Waltrip running 4th. Harry Gant 5th. Richmond is 6th. Leaders taking a very low line through 1 as they head down the Long Pond straightaway. Cale Yarborough, your leader. We had a chance to talk to him about the drama of his pole run yesterday.
We went out and made our last practice run before qualifying, and as we came back in the garage area, we lost an engine, which wasn't too bad, but it was enough that we had to change engines. We cracked the head in the one we had in it, so we took a fresh engine out of the box and put it in it, and the first lap on the engine was a qualifying run, and it was good enough to sit on the pole.
Cale Yarborough did a great job out here yesterday in qualifying, and he's got the field covered right now, Dick. Look at that pack of cars, 8 or 9 cars trying to stay close in a big draft.
Well, they sure are. In this particular type of track, they have to stay up tight. Everybody's got to stay nose to tail if we're going to try to run Cale down. He's really setting a good pace.
Yarborough, your leader, about 7 car lengths the advantage now over Earnhardt in the Wrangler Jeeps machine. Bobby Allison moving the Gatorade Buick, car number 88, into 3rd spot. Gorgeous sunny afternoon here in the Pocono Mountains. Huge crowd on hand at Pocono Raceway, really enjoying the Winston Cup stock car action. Yarborough takes it down the short straightaway, heading toward turn 3. Earnhardt trying to reel him in. We see Richard Petty in the SDP Pontiac running back in 7th spot, and I think Petty may be just sitting back biding his time right now.
Well, I don't know about right now. It's like I said earlier, Cale's setting a blistering pace, and you'll see somebody pull out to try to make a move, and they can't go anywhere, and they just fall back in place. I seen Labonte try it a while ago, and he didn't go anywhere. Richmond's tried it. I'll tell you, Cale's leading around the track.
Cale is, but right now Earnhardt has moved the Budmore Ford right up on his tail. Your 2 leaders heading down the Long Pond straightaway. There's Yarborough out front in the Valvoline Buick, car number 27. Dale Earnhardt running in 2nd spot. Earnhardt with 1 Grand National victory this season. Then there's a little bit of distance on the track. Richmond running 3rd in the deuce. Labonte 4th in the 44. Petty is 5th in the number 43. Yarborough, your leader, Earnhardt right behind him in 2nd spot in the early stages of this afternoon's event. Yarborough taking a low line through turn 1, also in turn 2. Is that the best way to get through 2, that tunnel turn?
The best way in Pocono, all the way around the racetrack, is down on the inside. You see Petty just slip down to the inside. He gets the advantage down there, and he can also move the other car up just a little bit. If he wants to and says, well, I'm going to fill the hole, he puts him up toward the wall, and the other car can't do anything about it.
Yarborough, your leader, down the main straightaway. Earnhardt tried to make a move to the outside that time as they came off 3. We saw Cale jockey low down the main chute.
Well, I think, again, Earnhardt's car, I think, is a little bit tight. And in that particular case, he pushed up. He got on the throttle a little bit too early, and he pushed up just a little bit. Now, see the way he stays underneath him?
Right.
As he's down underneath him, it has a tendency to loosen the rear of the car a little bit, and it pulls a little bit better. So
Earnhardt pulling it this time down that Long Pond straightaway on the inside. Did Cale make a mistake there? Was he trying to stay low and the car just slipped a little?
Well, when Earnhardt goes under him, it loosens his car a little bit, and it tightens up Cale's car a little bit, so Cale had to go up a little bit. He let Earnhardt down on the inside, and he powered him down the straightaway.
Earnhardt making the pass, going into 2, so a new leader as we see the stars and stripes blowing in the beautiful breeze here this afternoon. So it's Earnhardt out front, then Yarborough. Darrell Waltrip has moved to 3rd, Harry Gant 4th, Richmond 5th, Richard Petty sitting back in 6th position as the field moves around turn 3. Earnhardt, your leader, Yarborough right behind, and look at that, a 9 or 10 car lead pack once again.
Well, Earnhardt here, Cale here tried to move to the inside to separate the draft a little bit, and he did, and he
there he goes. Around a lapped car, Earnhardt on the outside, Yarborough on the inside, and Dale maintains command down into turn 1, the tightest turn on the track with the steepest banking as the fans enjoy the beautiful weather here at Pocono.
Yeah, I wanted to wave back. You know, I had a tendency to wave back there for some reason.
Earnhardt, your leader, down the Long Pond straightaway. Yarborough swings inside, pulls out of the draft. We'll see if Cale can repass. That's one thing I love about this Pocono International Raceway Tri-Oval. So much action all around the track. The cars can really move. Now the 2 leaders coming up on a slower car, Cecil Gordon and car number 24. And Earnhardt with the advantage. Now Yarborough breaks inside as we watch the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars of Tim Richmond, Richard Petty, and Terry Labonte. Your leader is Earnhardt coming through 3. Yarborough sitting back in 2nd spot. Cale led most of the early part of the race. Now Earnhardt has the Wrangler Jeeps machine on top.
Earnhardt's car is working so well. Very few times you'll see a car work the way he is now. And with the Fords have been known to be down on power a little bit. Earnhardt is handling so well through the corner that he can make it all up.
Earnhardt hangs on to the advantage with Yarborough stalking him just a car length behind in the Valvoline Buick, car number 27. Now it looks like Yarborough may make a move to the inside. We see this happen so often here at Pocono. Drivers will use the inside of the turn to get ahead. We'll be right back with more Mountain Dew 500 action after these messages. Set to return to racing here at Pocono International Raceway on lap 86. The caution came out on lap 81. Al LaQuesto of Easton, Pennsylvania spun and clipped the wall up in turn 1. He's heading to the pits. Harold Kinder with the green flag, and we're underway. Morgan Shepherd leads him down in the Levi Garrett Buick, car number 98. Shepherd, your restart leader. Dale Earnhardt on the inside. Dick, he is a lap behind at this point.
Well, he's going to try to make that back. If he can stay out in front and there was another caution come up, he would get a chance to make his lap back. I'll tell you, driving like that looks like a traffic jam downtown Porterville. Boy, I'll tell you that. They're all headed for the front. I don't know why they all want to be up in front like that, you know?
Trying to collect that lap money, I'm sure. Here's Earnhardt trying to repass Shepard and get back on the lead lap. He cannot do it this time by field heading toward 2. Shepard is your leader. Harry Gant in the 33, dropping to the inside. Gant in the 7-11 Skoal Bandit takes over the top spot. Shepard pushing way out to the top side of the track. Now Gant to the inside of Earnhardt as they come down the short straightaway toward the 3rd turn, and Gant puts Earnhardt back 1 lap behind the race leaders. Earnhardt wants to get to the front, maybe catch a caution and come back to the back of the pack. So far he hasn't been able to accomplish that. Harry Gant, your leader, coming off 3 down onto the long straightaway. Now we're seeing Gant stretch out a little bit of a lead, and he's got a big pack chasing him.
Well, it's the first time that Gant's really tried to show his power, and he's got some. We'll see what happens later in the race.
Tim Richmond in car number 2 moving to the inside. Richmond trying to gain a couple of spots, but he can't do it. Gant is your leader. Earnhardt a lap down. Bobby Allison moves into 2nd with the Gatorade 88. Running in 3rd spot is Darrell Waltrip. Gant your leader, stretching out the advantage, heading down the Long Pond straightaway. Earnhardt trying to stay with him. Dale hoping to get the Jeans machine back by Gant and get back on the lead lap. He makes a move for it as they go toward the tunnel turn. Earnhardt down on the low side of the raceway. He and Gant door to door. Now we'll watch Allison make a move on the inside. Allison in the Gatorade car moving for the lead. He rubs Gant off and takes over the top spot. Gant moves into the 2nd position. Earnhardt still a lap down, but he's right in the thick of things. Waltrip running 3rd. Richard Petty is 5th. Morgan Shepherd 6th as the field comes out of the main straightaway. Here's a look at the cars out of the race at the 80-lap mark.
You talk about a traffic jam. Now that's it. That is some beautiful racing. I'll tell you, whether you're in the car or you're watching it or you're a fan or whatever, that's beautiful.
Moving to the inside, Waltrip tries to get close to Bobby Allison, your race leader. He can't do it. Field really tightly bunched behind the first couple of automobiles. Allison continues on top. Waltrip slips by Earnhardt, putting him farther back. Waltrip in the 2nd position. Here's Richard Petty in the STP Pontiac, car number 43, dropping into 3rd. Petty really hasn't shown a whole lot so far. He seems to be holding back a little, Dick. He's right up front, but he hasn't made a move to the lead yet.
He's made a pass a time or two that showed that he had some good muscle. He's good in traffic. I think the car's working well for him. I think he's going to show us a lot before this day's over.
Allison on top, Waltrip 2nd as they run a tight draft down the short chute, heading into 3 as we see some pit action. The Cale Yarborough crew getting set with some new tires for their driver. Cale a little off the pace right now. He led the early going. Allison still on top. Waltrip swings inside as Morgan Shepherd dives for the pits in the Levi Garrett number 98, the Benfield racing car. We see Allison still your leader. Field charging down the main chute here at Pocono, heading toward 1. And Shepherd quickly, the Chew crew, jumps over the wall, getting set to throw some outside tires on the 98. This Buddy Parrott-led crew is doing a nice job.
He's got a flat right rear. I thought I seen him go high in the turn back there a while ago. He's got a flat right rear is the reason he came in.
All right, so Shepherd will be on the track shortly. Petty with a big move to the inside, trying to break the draft. We see Shepherd out of the pits, and Petty charges to the lead as they come toward turn 2.
That's the first time that he's really showed his muscle like he was going to try to lead the race, and he certainly can, so he's going to be around.
Petty trying to break a bad streak. It's been almost a year between Winston Cup victories for King Richard Petty. His last win was last August up in Michigan. Petty now on top here at Pocono. He gave it a great run back in June, had gasoline problems. He was battling with Bobby Allison for the lead in the late stages and ran out of fuel. Junior Johnson, the crew chief for Darrell Waltrip, the 1981 Grand National champion, looking things over. Here's Waltrip swinging to the inside, making a bid on Petty as they come down the main chute. Waltrip looks for the lead first time today, and he's got it going into turn 1. Darrell running very strongly on the speedway now. Let's go pit side. Dwayne Dow had a chance to speak to Darrell yesterday.
With Darrell Waltrip leading the Mountain Dew 500, that might be a good time to take a break and meet some of Darrell's young fans who come from nearby Matamoros, Pennsylvania.
Well, they're little friends of mine. There's about 100 of them now. A year ago, a group of about 20 came out, and they called themselves Darrell's Dewdrops, and they're back again this year, a lot stronger. There's 100 kids, and Wilma Shea, from nearby town here, put together the group, and they called themselves the Dewdrops, and I love every one of them. I thank the good Lord for them.
So Waltrip on the speedway doing quite a job this afternoon. Dick Brooks, he won this race 1 year ago, trying to double it up.
Well, he is. He's pushing as hard as he can, and it's nice to have nice young fans like that. A bunch of kids around a racetrack is really, really exciting, and to me it is. They just stand around in awe and look it over, and it pumps him up, and he's showing them what he can do.
What a great sport it is, especially for the young fans. Waltrip, your leader in the Mountain Dew Buick. Richard Petty running second spot in the STP Pontiac, number 43. Harry Gant moving up to third in the Skull Bandit, the 711 Skull Bandit, car number 33. Gant has been a leader this afternoon. Right now, he's sticking right behind Waltrip and Petty as the field moves into turn 2, heading down toward the shortest of the 3 straightaways here on the very unique 2.5-mile tri-oval here in Pennsylvania, in the beautiful Pocono Mountains. Waltrip out in front, Petty sitting in second spot. Richard running a draft now, saving the car. Do you think that's what he's trying to do, Dick?
Well, he earlier was, you know, he'd show a little power or a little bit of muscle in the spot or two, and now he seems to be very content just sitting where he is. Darrell's showing his muscle now. I don't know for sure if he can pull away or not, but I'll tell you, that's 3 cars up close, and they're really putting on a show for the fans. 3
of the strongest combinations in Winston Cup Grand National Racing. Waltrip in the Junior Johnson car, Petty in his Petty Enterprises Pontiac, and Harry Gant in the car out of the Burt Reynolds Hal Needham stables, running 1, 2, and 3. Waltrip, a 6-time winner on the Winston Cup circuit this year. Petty looking for his first victory in almost a year. Richard drops inside as they charge toward turn 2. Petty wants the lead back, and he's got it. Taking it by Waltrip as they head into the tunnel turn here at Pocono. Harry Gant follows as we've got trouble on the raceway. Al LaQuesto once again in car number 6. That'll bring out a yellow. We'll be back with more from the Mountain Dew 500 after these messages. Back racing at Pocono International Raceway, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Field coming out of turn 3. Harold Kinder with the green flag. And we're back underway in this 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Darrell Waltrip, your restart later. Dale Earnhardt on the inside, still a lap behind. Earnhardt, Dick, trying his darndest to get back around the speedway and get back on the lap with the leaders.
He's spent all afternoon trying to get that lap back, and I'll tell you, he's been right in contention, but he just can't lead it enough, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If the brakes fall right, he can do it.
Waltrip, your leader. Harry Gant in second spot. Tim Richmond is third. Richard Petty sits in fourth position. Jeff Bodine, the Performance Connection Pontiac, car number 50, running 5th. Bodine's best show of the afternoon, moving right up with the leaders. Here's Earnhardt low on the speedway going into 2. He's by Waltrip. So Earnhardt, at least for the moment, back on the same lap as your leaders, although almost an entire track behind them. Now Waltrip says, no, I'm going to put you another lap down, and Darrell repasses. So Waltrip is your race leader, and now Earnhardt another lap down. Gant still second. Petty to the outside of Richmond as they go through 3. Petty bidding for third, and he will not get it this time as the field comes charging out of the third turn onto the main straightaway here at Pocono. Huge crowd on hand this afternoon for the Mountain Dew 500. Waltrip down to the inside. Earnhardt takes it up high. We'll see if Dale can make a move going into 1, but he will not have enough this time around. Waltrip, last year's winner of this event, still out in front. Gant riding second, the 711 Skull Bandit. Richmond third, Petty is fourth as the field heads down the Long Pond straightaway on a gorgeous sunshiny afternoon. Tim Richmond, Dick, is the only driver in this lead pack who hasn't yet had a turn at the head of the field.
Well, he's tried a time or two. He keeps busting out in the middle of the straightaway, and he just can't seem to put it together all the way up there. I'll tell you, it's some awful good tight racing. If we don't see somebody bump somebody or bust somebody in a minute, it's just going to be a miracle.
Harry Gant made a move going through the tunnel turn. Gant takes over the lead. Gant went by Earnhardt.
Gant went on the outside that time. It's the first time we've seen someone do that. And I'll tell you, that's a brave move, especially racing this close.
His car's got to be sticking pretty well to take it up on the high side here at Pocono. The inside lane is the quick road, isn't it?
Well, it's generally the quick road, and it's the best way around. It's the safest way around. And by passing on the outside like that, I'll tell you, when they start racing like this, we're going to see some action in a minute. We just about did, right?
Yes, indeed. As Richmond and Earnhardt get together, Petty on the inside takes over the top spot as they head toward 1. Here we go on the replay. Let's take a look at how Petty makes the move. You see Earnhardt and Richmond rub together right there on the Mislou Isolite.
And just about get Gant into it. That leaves Petty way down on the inside, and Waltrip sitting back there looking, well, what's going to happen? Where do I go now?
There's so much room on the main straightaway here at Pocono as we watch Petty take over the advantage going into 2. So much room. That track is so wide that there's room enough for everybody to get through safely. Petty, your leader, heading down the short straightaway into turn 3. Richmond in second spot, Waltrip third, Harry Gant in fourth position. Earnhardt on the speedway in third spot right now as you see it there, but he's still a lap down, still trying to work his way back around to the rear of the field. Petty leads them off 3 as they come down the main straightaway. This time, Dick, everybody in single file as they come down.
Well, they may bust out in just a minute. They're catching up in a draft, and at the end of the straightaway, they gain a little bit. There comes Earnhardt out again. I noticed Earnhardt hit the grass on the tunnel turn back here a minute ago, so he's really, really trying.
He is charging hard, trying to come around and get on the lead lap as we watch some of the pit action here at Pocono International Raceway. Richard Petty holding the advantage in the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Petty your leader, Tim Richmond in the J.D. Stacy Buick running in second spot. Third right at the moment is the 11 with Darrell Waltrip as they steam down the Long Pond straightaway towards turn number 2. And Petty, who had the field covered back during the race in June, really has the advantage right now.
He seems to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger. He was awful good in the early stages of the race in the traffic, handling it through traffic, but he didn't lead so much. Now he seems to be able to lead with comfort.
Do you think he's showing everybody else what he's got today with the Pontiac?
Well, he may be showing himself, too. He may be happy to do it. It's been a long time since he's been this strong, and he's just sitting out there saying, hey, boys, come and get me now.
And they're going to try as they come down the main chute. Waltrip brings the Mountain Dew Buick out of line, then decides to swing it back in and stay with the draft. Petty your leader, Earnhardt a lap down, second on the speedway. Richmond sits in second position in the race, third on the track. Waltrip is next. Then it's Terry Labonte, the current Winston Cup point leader, and the winner of the first leg of the Winston Cup championship run. He's in the fourth spot on the race, and Labonte really has been in the lead pack, but he hasn't made a move toward the front yet. We see Mark Martin in the Apache Stove Pontiac, the 02 in the pits, and apparently he's got some kind of a problem. Ronnie Thomas getting in the race car, Dick.
Well, he may be getting hot or something. I don't know. There may be something wrong with the car or whatever. It's awful hot today. You know, we'll just have to see. We'll get a report on it in a minute.
Dwayne Dow pit side, and we'll see if he can get a word with Mark Martin just getting out of the Apache Stove 02. Martin, one of the challengers for the Champion Sparkplug Rookie of the Year trophy and award. And right now, Martin is the Rookie of the Year point leader. Jeff Bodine's been catching him. Richard Petty still with the lead. Waltrip running second. Earnhardt a lap down as the field moves up on some slower traffic coming down the main chute here at Pocono International Raceway. Ronnie Thomas of Christiansburg, Virginia, climbing into the Apache Stove car. Ronnie, one of the cars that fell out of the race earlier. His car carrying number 42 today instead of the usual 25. Earnhardt down on the low side trying to pass Petty. And no, Dale doesn't have room as they lap by Cecil Gordon. Gordon driving his own car one of the few times this year in car number 24. He held Earnhardt up and Petty stays on top. Earnhardt still a lap down. Waltrip in second spot. Here's the pit action. Dwayne Dow getting set to talk to Mark Martin.
Mrs. Martin coming in. Mark, what happened? A lot of fans around the country would like to know.
Well, I don't really know. The car just started getting real hot, and then all of a sudden the shifter boot is rubber and it melted right out of the car. And it's just like a flamethrower coming through there. It's just coming right out of your leg. And we just can't figure out how to stop it up.
Are you all right, do you think, now?
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to get back in it because I don't think there's any way he can finish the race. He'll probably be able to make 20 laps maybe.
How badly burned are you?
I'm not burned. It was more my mind than my body.
So that's the word from Mark Martin, the Apache Stove Pontiac driver. Dickie says it wasn't so much a matter of burns as fumes and things.
Well, that's true. I'll tell you, I've had that problem in my mind, too, and then after the race is over, you look down and you got a big burnt blister on your leg or someplace, too. So I know what he's feeling like, and a lot of the people feel the same way, and it just gets to where you can't bear it sometimes.
Richard Petty on top. Harry Gant running second. Waltrip third. They are running very, very close on the speedway. Earnhardt a lap down as they go by Rick Newsom, the left car number 20. Waltrip trying to reel in Petty. King Richard now showing some domination as he is pulled away. We see Mark Martin in the pits speaking with one of his friends, wondering how he's doing. We'll be back for more Mountain Dew 500 action after these commercial messages. Petty, your leader, as we move into the middle portion of this race, the 120 lap standings you see there. Petty in command. Petty moving by the slower car of Charlie Baker. Darrell Waltrip sits in second spot. Harry Gant running third. They are quite a ways behind King Richard right now. Dale Earnhardt fourth on the track, still one lap down, and still trying to get back in contention with the leaders. Earnhardt lost the back bumper off his car a little earlier, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the way he's running on the track at all.
Well, it doesn't too much. Generally, when you do something like that, it'll create a little problem, loosen the car a little bit. But
as we see Jimmy Means into the pits. You think that might disturb the airflow off the back of the 15 a little?
Well, it has a tendency to loosen the rear just a little bit, and it doesn't seem to affect him much. They're adjusting well for it as Cale comes in.
Here's Cale Yarborough in the Valvoline Buick, the MC Anderson car, and he may be having problems as the hood goes up. He was a leader earlier.
Yeah, they've been awful strong all day, and I'll tell you, well, they got the disappointed look. We've been there many times, you know.
They put the hood right back down again. Looks like Cale may be out of it. Petty on top. So one of the challengers in the event, Cale Yarborough, the pole sitter, is out of competition as they take that long ride back to the garage area. Tough break indeed for Yarborough. Petty still leading the chase down the main straightaway. And the field stringing out behind him now as we move into the middle point of this Mountain Dew 500 for 1982. Petty way on top as he comes low indeed into turn number 1. This has been a very difficult Winston Cup season for King Richard, the all-time Grand National leader, as he clips the grass. We take a look at the cars out of the race. 10 of them gone after 120 laps. Petty continues with a big advantage down the Long Pond straightaway, and right now, Dick Brooks, he's got to be in the driver's seat. He's getting to the point where if no other drivers take a shot at him, Richard might be able to go all the way.
Well, he's done this many times. They got the car, Mark Martin, back in. Ronnie Thomas is still in the car, I think.
There he goes.
He's going to go away. Looked like it hosed him down a little bit. It must be just having a heat problem.
They must be. Martin, we heard a few moments ago talking to Dwayne Dow in the pits saying that heat and steam and smoke was blowing through the floorboards of the O2, coming up by the shifter and really bothering him. He wasn't getting burned, I guess, so much as he was having trouble with the fumes.
Well, they were spraying water in the car. I'll tell you, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but when you do that in a hot car...
Oh, we've got trouble in turn 1. Look at that, 2 automobiles. That's Dale Earnhardt in the Wrangler Jeans machine. As you can see, oil pouring out of the rear of that car. Earnhardt got into it with Tim Richmond in the Stacy pack number 2. Earnhardt upside down, and we'll watch it on the instant replay from our Mizzlou cameras. Here's Earnhardt coming up behind Richmond. Earnhardt clips Richmond in the left rear quarter, kicks the deuce sideways. We see parts starting to fly. Richmond sliding sideways. Earnhardt goes right to the top of the track. He'll slam the wall here, and look at that. Earnhardt close to going out of the ballpark, Dick, as the 15 goes high in the air.
Well, it's about as close as you can get from going over the wall. And I'll tell you, the thing just got hung up in there and just flipped right up on its top. I'll tell you, that brings back old memories, man.
A rough ride indeed for Dale Earnhardt, the Wrangler Jeans machine, as well as the Richmond car. Safety crews on the speedway, the Pocono track crews getting there very quickly to see if Earnhardt is okay, and we'll wait a moment as they help him unbuckle and get set to climb out of the car as we see the 15 sliding to a stop on the instant replay. Oil pouring out of the back of the automobile. Could have been a dangerous situation, and there's Earnhardt. He's okay. Earnhardt being helped by Tim Richmond coming across the track. Looks like Dale may have bumped up a leg just a little bit, but he looks okay, and the track doctors will take a close look at him. We see Earnhardt making his way toward the ambulance here at Pocono International Raceway. And Earnhardt will climb into the ambulance with a little bit of help from Tim Richmond as the track crew here at Pocono International Raceway tries to clean up quite a mess. Earnhardt's car leaking fluid all up toward the first turn area of the speedway. Some damage done to the guardrail up there, too. It's going to take him some time. Let's take a look at a replay. This was the first race at Pocono this year, the Van Scoy 500 on June 6th. Earnhardt in trouble in turn 1.
Yeah, same place, about the same situation, except he didn't touch anybody. All he did was touch the corner of Richmond's car, and that turned him back to the right. He went into the wall, like to knock it down. He knocked a big hole in it.
This time, in the earlier race, as we see there, he was able to bring the car back by turning into the skid, just spinning harmlessly down in the grass. Do you think that's what he wanted to do when he got loose?
Oh, I don't think he wanted that to happen. I think
no, I would say
that
not.
was almost another one.
Field circulating under caution here at Pocono International Raceway. The Mazda RX-7 pace car on the speedway as the track crew works, and we see Earnhardt's car in the pits. Let's go to Dwayne Dow. He's got Tim Richmond to talk about what happened up in turn number 1.
Well, a disappointed but philosophical Tim Richmond. Tim, I would say the most visual happening today at Pocono.
Well, unfortunately, it probably was, and hopefully they won't have another one like that today.
What happened?
Well, a couple laps earlier, Dale and I had been running together. He was in front of me, and I had got by him somewhere on the racetrack, got in front of him, and we were running fairly decent. I think we was catching maybe Harry and Daryl up there, and Dale had said he had been losing these brakes some of the day. He had to keep pumping them to keep the car stopping, and he said he went into 3 and he started to pump them, and there just wasn't anything there. And what happened, he just hit the back end of my car, which turned me around and turned him around also and sent me into the wall, and I think him too, and it just got him upside down, and it took me a while to get out of the car, and I thought he went over the fence. When I got out, I looked out on the outside of the racetrack, but he was laying up behind me up towards the end of turn 1 upside down. And
You're all right?
yeah, I'm fine, and Dale is too. He kind of Charlie horsed his leg and maybe got a little cut, but nothing real serious from what they said in the hospital.
I know you're looking forward now to the next one.
Yeah, I am.
You know, the car doesn't look so good right now.
Well, we've got about 7 or 8 more back in the shop that we can use. But
okay, Tim Richmond, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And there will be more great racing action here at Pocono Raceway Sunday, August 29th. The Bobtail Trucks in the Great American Truck Race, 500 kilometers around this 2.5-mile speedway. Fence needing some repairs in turn 1. Dick, let's look at the replay one more time and see what happened here.
Well, I think it happened a little bit like Tim said. I think Earnhardt had a problem, whether it was brakes or not. He got into his side, and when he corrected for it, he turned right into the wall. And as we've seen the picture just before, it liked to knock the wall down. I tell you, anymore with NASCAR's rules and stuff the way they are, and the way the track is, they've got them now to where they hold these cars inside good, and that really shows what it is. And I'll tell you, I'd like to talk about Mizzlou Network and getting that on film the way they did with their slow motion and their camera. They've done a great.
Field circling under yellow, looking for the green after the caution flag for the wreck of Tim Richmond and Dale Earnhardt. Both drivers are okay. Harold Kinder with the green flag, and we're back racing in the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Moving to the outside, gunning for the lead. You've got Waltrip down on the low side of the track. Up on the top side, Bobby Allison and Harry Gant right in there too, Dick. Should be quite a race with 40 laps left.
Well, it certainly is. It's just that's just a restart just like that this late in the race and what have you. You know, all the top cars are still there. The top contenders are still there. There's still everybody wanting to win this thing. And I'll tell you, they're going to be a problem. They're going to have to make another pit stop. I think they're going to have to make another pit stop before the race is over. They're going to have to run 40 laps, and I don't believe they can do that. Dave Marcus is the only guy that's ran that far in this race so far.
We'll keep an eye on the situation. Waltrip, your leader. Bobby Allison, Harry Gant fighting him for that top spot. Gant of the 7-Eleven Skull Bandit right now in second. Makes a move to the inside of Waltrip as they head toward 3. Gant wants that lead back as they come around right after the green flag following the lengthy caution period. And Gant has the advantage coming out of 4. Ron Bouchard and the other J.D. Stacy car, number 47, right in there as well. He is 4th. Petty is 5th. The leaders together on the same lap. It's Gant out front, Allison 2nd, Waltrip 3rd, Petty in 4th spot. Bouchard right there too as they head toward turn 1. Allison in the Gatorade car down low. Gant holds on to the lead. Waltrip in 3rd spot, shaping up to be quite a battle down to the end, and pit stops could well figure into it. Now Waltrip on top. Bouchard with a nice move in his 2nd spot. Last year's Rookie of the Year. There's Gant out in front. Allison in the 2nd position. Heading down toward the tunnel turn. Now Allison swings inside in the Gatorade number 88. And Allison takes over the lead from Harry Gant going through the tunnel turn. So you've got a 5 or 6 car lead pack up front. Terry Labonte in there too. Waltrip makes a big move to the inside. They're looking like they want to go 3 wide down toward turn 3. Gant out front. Allison on the high side in 2nd. Waltrip is 3rd as we see the cars out of the race after 160 laps. Tim Richmond and Dale Earnhardt, the last 2 to join the list of vehicles not in competition any longer. Field coming down the main straightaway. Harry Gant out in front. Allison in 2nd. 3rd is Waltrip. Petty 4th. Bouchard and Labonte fight it out for 5th spot. Allison wants the lead going into 1. He won't quite have enough this time around. Gant stays out on top. Gant and Allison door to door heading down the Long Pond straightaway. Waltrip is 3rd. Petty is 4th. Allison inches ahead by a bumper as they head toward turn 2. Allison and Gant have really been duking it out the last 4 or 5 laps, putting on quite a show.
Well, the way they do, when they start running side by side like it down a straightaway, it's like the wake off of a boat. You see it go off a boat, and as one car pulls up into that, the air slows it down, so it gives the other car advantage. And then when he pulls up into the air, it does vice versa, and they just swap back and forth.
Gant out front right at the moment. Allison running 2nd, Petty 3rd. Waltrip sits in 4th spot as they come off turn 3. getting toward the closing stages of the 1982 Mountain Dew 500, and we're wondering whether the leaders can go all the way on the gas they have. Less than 40 laps remaining, and that is stretching it, Dick Brooks, as far as the gas you use in one of these cars.
I don't think they can run much over 36, 37 laps. I just don't believe they can run 40 laps.
Allison and Gant side by side into one. Gant on the high side has the advantage. Here's Petty down low, gunning for the lead. 3 cars in a bunch under a blanket as they head toward turn 2. Allison with a bumper's length advantage right now. Gant takes over the top spot, though, as they go back toward 2. Petty on the inside, swings it low. King Richard Petty and the STB Pontiac takes over the lead. Waltrip follows him in the draft. Waltrip on the Mountain Dew Buick comes through into second spot, shuffling Gant back to third. Great racing, 5 cars in a bunch. Allison is in 4th. Allison drops low. He wants second spot. Petty is your leader. They go toward 3. Allison has to back off. Gant stays in the second spot. Field coming off turn 3. Petty and Gant running 1 and 2. Allison 3rd. Waltrip kicked back to 4th. Then it's Labonte and Bouchard making up the top 6. Petty out front gunning for his first Winston Cup win of the year. Richard Petty has run strongly all afternoon here at Pocono International Raceway. Petty had the field covered the first time here this year back in June in the Van Scoy 500 that you saw here on the Mizlu Television Network. Petty did not get the win that day. He's made up his mind. He's going to go for it this time. He's got a lead over Gant of about 1 car length as they go down the short, or rather the Long Pond straightaway toward 2. Petty out in front. Gant is second. Allison third. They come up on the slower car, the 66 automobile driven by Mike Potter from Johnson City, Tennessee. Car down on the infield grass. That's Rick Newsom in car number 20. Newsom does not bring out a yellow. He is back on the track and in good shape.
He done a pretty good job of holding that. I'll tell you, it's hard to drive in that dirt.
It sure is.
It kind of want to get sideways on you, you know, and start going backwards.
Petty still your leader, coming down over the start-finish line. Gant swings it inside as they head toward 1. The long straightaway here on the main stretch of Pocono, 3,700 feet long, and Gant takes over as they go into 1. Gant and Allison follows him through using the draft to sweep under Petty. Now Petty sticks it low in turn 1. Richard says, no, I'm not going to get any further behind.
I think this is about the strongest that Gant has actually shown all day, but I'll tell you, when Richard wants to go, he pulls out and goes. He went from 3rd to 1st a while ago. Walter helped him a little bit. Now he's sitting out running all by himself, and he can hold himself out there outside the draft, so he's going to be tough toward the end.
Gant out in front. Petty regains second spot, dipping low in turn 2. They go down the short chute, heading toward 3. Moving up on another slower car. Petty working on Harry Gant, trying to stay close to him. Bobby Allison sits in 3rd position. Gant, your leader, coming off 3. We'll see what Richard does as they swing onto the main straightaway here at Pocono International Raceway. Gant will pick up the bonus Winston Cup points this time around for leading the field past the start-finish line. Jeff Bodine brings the Performance Connection Pontiac, car number 50, into the pits. The hood is up. Dick, that's not a good sign. And oh, look at this, Harry Gant. Harry Gant with engine trouble. He was running up front.
There wasn't anybody trying to save anything. Those guys are running like it's the last lap. And I'll tell you, after a long, long caution like there was, the engines cool down a little bit. The fuel changes in the car and stuff, and that's when they generally blow up like that.
Harry Gant obviously out of competition. Let's go to the replay. We'll see Gant have his engine let go here in turn 3 right in front of Petty. Nice driving there.
Boy, you talk about pucker power. Now Richard Petty's got it right there. Now I'll tell you, that's a spooky feeling because it get oil all over the windshield. There's a little water there, and it's that's spooky.
All right, so Gant drives it right out of competition into the garage area. We stay green. Petty is your leader with Allison right behind. 1 by 1, the contenders, some of them at least, fall by the wayside. Gant out of the competition. Petty now, Allison, Waltrip, Terry Labonte, and Ron Bouchard, the top 5 all together on the speedway.
Yeah, Bouchard's showing a good bit of muscle he didn't do earlier in the race, and he's been hanging this draft good.
We'll be back for the final stages of this event after these commercial messages. Back racing here at Pocono International Raceway, Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the 1982 Mountain Dew 500 with King Richard Petty, your leader. Moving into the late portion of this event, Bobby Allison second, trying to chase him down. Darrell Waltrip in the Mountain Dew machine in 3rd spot, all on the lead lap. Terry Labonte, Ron Bouchard following close behind. As the field moves down the short straightaway toward turn number 3, Petty trying to shake the bugaboo. Richard, he has been a long time between drinks at the victory fountain.
Yeah, what's the bugaboo?
The bugaboo that he has not won a race in a long time.
Oh, that's the bugaboo.
That's the one.
Yeah, well, it has been a long dry spell, and I'll tell you, they really need it, and I'm sure they're going to try to get it.
All of Level Cross rooting him on this afternoon as Petty leads the charge into turn number 1 here at Pocono. Petty in that STP Pontiac has run very strongly. He's been able to run up front just about any time he's wanted to this afternoon.
For the later stages of the race, he has almost dominated the front place. In fact, there's times it looks like he can get away a little bit. And then a couple cars will hook up and they'll catch back up. But
he's got a couple of car length lead right now over Allison and over Waltrip as we see Labonte run in the 4th spot. Bouchard sitting in 5th position. Lots of lead changes. 11 different drivers have been out front today, and we've had 41 lead changes to this point, closing in on the Pocono record. Petty still out in front. Allison and Waltrip hooked up nose to tail, trying to chase down King Richard as we move into the late portions of the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. And again, we're wondering what the gas situation is as the field comes around to move over the start-finish line. We see Bouchard. Dwayne Dow standing by in the pit area. Dwayne trying to find out exactly from some of these crew chiefs what the situation might be on gasoline as we move into the late stages of this event.
We have Johnny Hayes, who's director of marketing. Johnny, is that right, for the Skoal Racing Team, Skoal Bandit Team? Johnny, we know that Harry Gant blew his engine after doing so well. Were you going to try to make it the rest of the way without any further fuel stop?
Yeah, we had timed it. We could go the rest of the way. That wasn't a problem for us.
And you were running right up toward the front all day?
Yeah, he ran real good all day. We were really pleased with the way he was running. Travis Carter had the car running super.
Well, Dick, there you heard it from one of the members of the Harry Gant team. They felt they could go the whole way on the fuel they had after that caution.
well, I tell you, I'm not a crew chief, and I guess I can make a lot of mistakes, but I don't think they can do it. I don't believe they can run that far.
Well, we'll wait and see. I think all these crews have to be hoping that they can finish up the race.
At least not legally run that far. Sometimes there's a little added, there's a little extra.
Some of those cars get some awful good mileage.
I kind of got a feeling that Junior's car might go that far, and there might be a couple others, but I think Petty will pit early. They just generally pit a little bit early anyway on gas. We'll just have to wait and see, but
Bobby Allison,
close.
We'll wait and see indeed. Bobby Allison makes a move on Petty as they go toward 1, and Allison repasses to take the lead. Now Petty says, no, I want to stay out in front myself. Richard drops down low, coming out of 1. Petty on the inside as they charge down the Long Pond straightaway. Here's Waltrip to the inside, going 3 abreast. Look at these 3 Winston Cup stars go 3 wide, charging toward 2. Waltrip on the inside takes over the lead. So Waltrip back out in front for the first time in quite a while. Darrell Waltrip, your leader. Petty now back to the inside as the 3 lead cars shuffle it up. Petty heading toward 3 in the STP Pontiac. The Dayglow red, Petty blue car, and he's your leader once again. Richard will be out in front as they come off of 3 and head back toward the start-finish line.
Yeah, you talk about 41, 42 lead changes. That's at the start-finish line. There has to be at least, another 30 or 40 somewhere around the racetrack. Now, there was like 3 lead changes in the 1 lap right there. I'll tell you, this is some kind of race.
Sure is. Shows you how competitive the racing is here at Pocono, as well as on the Winston Cup Tours. Many, many drivers in the chase late in the going here in the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Petty your leader. Waltrip is second. Allison is third as they straighten out and go by the slower car of J.D. McDuffie, putting him another lap down. Petty now has the 3 cars in a nose-to-tail draft down the Long Pond straightaway, heading toward that tunnel turn. Waltrip looks like he might think about making a move to the inside, but Petty closes the door on him as they go into 2.
Well, they're certainly going to have to feel each other out now, and if anybody's trying to save anything, you certainly can't see it, but they're going to have to try to feel each other out. Can I beat him here? Can I beat him there? Where am I strongest at? If I can pass him coming off of the 3rd turn, can I beat him to the start-finish line, or do I have to do it at the tunnel turn? And I think they're all going to have this all psyched out. Now, again, like we talked about earlier, Richard and Darrell, when they hook up, it seems like they can pull just a little bit on Bobby. I don't know. And then when Darrell gets in the front, they can't do that. So I think Richard's the strongest one on the field.
Do you think that at this stage of the game, the drivers know what they're going to do in the last 5 laps, or is it a little early to start planning a strategy?
I think right now it might be just a little bit early yet. I think they are just trying to find out what they can do. And I'll tell you, one driver like Darrell's doing right there can change the handling of the car in front of him. If he runs on the outside of him a little bit, it has a tendency to make the car push if he goes far enough out, or if he gets on the inside, he can change the guy's tire temperature. So the guy in the front's got to say, well, what's the guy in the back doing to me? And the guy in the back says, what can I do to the guy in the front? And I tell you, there's 3 masters, and they're working for the end of this thing.
Petty out in front, Waltrip right behind in the Mountain Dew Buick. He is in second spot. Bobby Allison is third. So Petty's driving with that mirror right now. He's got his eyes on the back of him as much as he does on the front, you think?
Well, I think he wants to know where Darrell is at all times and what Darrell can do to him. And I'll tell you, he's just strong, though. He can just stay out there by himself.
Petty's crew looking on as Richard leads the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Beautiful weather here in the Pocono Mountains today, and a great place to come and spend some vacation time. Lots of fishing, lots of camping, anything you'd like to do in the summertime.
Well, this is the honeymoon capital of the world, you know, so if you're getting married tomorrow, come on over. You know, this is the place to be. There's a lot of honeymooners out here.
Lots of folks enjoying the action at Pocono International Raceway. Richard Petty, your leader. Waltrip in second. Allison third. It has boiled down to these 3 Winston Cup standouts as Mark Martin's car, the O2, comes back in. Ronnie Thomas driving in relief for Mark. Thomas taking over because, as we heard earlier, Martin overcome by the fumes in the car. Lots of fumes blowing back into the cockpit today. We see Petty still on top. Waltrip in second spot. Allison in third, as the Mark Martin crew sends their relief driver back into the chase. Petty hanging on. Now Waltrip moving inside. Is that a move by Waltrip to try and alter the handling of Petty's car, as you mentioned?
It looked to me like Waltrip actually tried to set him up or tried to pass him and couldn't do it. I think that Richard is just is too strong for him to handle right now. Now Bobby and Waltrip, if they both get together and they pull a good draft, they get a little shot coming off a turn, I think both of them could probably handle him, but one-on-one, I believe Richard's got him. Now, it's still going to come down to this fuel thing. We're going to have to see at the end who's going to win this race, because I think they're going to have a fuel problem.
Well, it appears as though all 3 crew chiefs are hoping to go the rest of the way. Nobody's made a move for a pit stop yet. And the race winding down, you'd think if anybody was planning a stop, they'd want to make it now so they'd have a chance to catch back up again if they have to do it under green.
I really doubt whether one person will plan over another. I think that one of them will all of a sudden go in the pits and the other ones will follow him in, or they'll all stay out until they feel a little flutter, or they feel sometimes the car will flutter just a little bit coming off the turn or at the end of the straightaway. And I think somebody's going to hunt for that. And if they don't do it, if one guy goes in and the rest of them make it, well, he's lost, so.
Petty way down low in 1. Still your leader. Waltrip second. Allison third as they lap by some slower traffic. The 19 of Charlie Baker, Grand National rookie, making his first Winston Cup start today. He's a truck driver. He'll be one of those truck racers you'll see here at Pocono on August 29th. Petty on top. Waltrip in second spot. As we move through 2, we'll be back here at Pocono after these commercials. Back racing at Pocono International Raceway. Dick Brooks as we move toward the end of the race. Richard Petty out in front. Darrell Waltrip sits in second spot. Third is Bobby Allison. 3 of the heavies of Grand National Racing in contention for the victory here at the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Petty leads him down over the start-finish line. And now we'll wait and see what happens with this fuel situation. The drivers have to be thinking, can I go the last 20 miles or so?
Well, there's a lot of strategy going on. There's guys in the pits that they've thrown away their pencils and pads and they've got out their computers, They're trying to figure this out, but evidently everybody seems pretty confident they can do it. Well,
we'll see what happens. Petty, your leader, going down the Long Pond straightaway. Waltrip right behind in second spot. Bobby Allison a little further behind. You mentioned that Allison, or rather Petty and Waltrip, were able to pull away from Allison. Seems like they're doing that right now.
When Petty's in front and Waltrip hooks onto him good and tight, they can get away from Allison just a little bit.
That's what they're doing right now as they go through the tunnel turn. We see Ronnie Thomas back in the pits in the Mark Martin car, the Apache Stoves Pontiac, trying to cool him down again, and Thomas away back into the chase. Thomas driving in relief. Petty, your leader. Waltrip sits in the number 2 position. Allison, a couple of car lengths back in the Gatorade car, is third. Kyle Petty in the pits. He apparently ran out of fuel, had to get a push in, and he's getting a can of gas dumped in by the Haas Ellington crew and back on the speedway.
Yeah, finally got it started. I'll tell you, these guys during that long caution really packed in the fuel.
They tried to anyway. Some of them didn't quite get enough as we see the lap 190 standings with Petty, your leader. 10 laps to go at this point. Petty maintains command. He and Waltrip drop down low on the speedway into turn 1. Petty has led an awful lot of this race today, bidding for his first Grand National win of the year and his first in almost 1 full calendar year, going back to last August up in Michigan. Petty leads him down toward the tunnel turn. Waltrip right behind him in second spot. Waltrip's in good position. Can you slingshot? We hear a lot about slingshotting as Waltrip makes a move down that short straightaway.
Well, there's a little bit of a slingshot factor. It's not like it would be at Daytona or Talladega. Something's happened to Richard.
All right,
Richard has run out of gas, I'll bet you.
You think so? Waltrip takes over the top spot. Now Allison slides by too. Bobby wants the second position as they lap by some slower traffic. That shuffles Richard back to third. He doesn't seem to have slowed down too much. As the leaders work up on some lap traffic here, we'll see what happens. Your new leader, car number 11, Darrell Waltrip in the Mountain Dew automobile.
Well, the way he slowed down, I thought he probably had a fuel problem. Now, sometimes, like I said earlier, the car will flutter just a little bit, and it'll scare you. First of all, you need that power when you're in the turn to drive the car right, and he's backed off.
He's having trouble, definitely.
That car has fluttered on him, and I bet he comes in.
We'll wait and see. Waltrip, your new leader. Allison second. Petty dropping off the pace in third. Richard trying to hang on to the two leaders now and get a tow. We'll see if Petty makes a move toward the pits. Last few laps of this 1982 Mountain Dew 500. And now you can see Waltrip and Allison pulling away from Petty down the short straightaway heading into 3. This puts Waltrip in the catbird seat with just a few laps to go. So Waltrip comes off turn number 3, still out in front. Allison second. Petty several car lengths behind in third. Dick, now he's really going to have trouble catching up to those leaders, don't you think?
Well, I think he is. Well, I don't know. He could pull him while ago. I think he'd catch back up all right, but I think he's got a problem with his car. I just can't believe that this time of the race that he would fall off like that.
Could he be cutting? Could the fuel supply be cutting in and out on the turns with him?
I think it is. I think what's happening is he comes up off the turn. He doesn't have all the power. I think things fluttered on him a little bit, and he's trying to make a decision of whether he needs to go in or try to go ahead and run it. You know, so if the other two cars are still running, he figures he should too.
Waltrip and Allison lead it 1 and 2. Petty closes right back in. Richard trying to break the jinx and pick up his first Winston Cup win of the year. All three drivers probably on the radios to their crew chiefs, figuring what the situation is with just a few laps left in the 1982 Mountain Dew 500. Darrell Waltrip has the advantage. Allison running second spot as they go through 3 and head down the main straightaway. Petty in third position here as they move down that long straightaway. And what's this? Petty falling behind. Richard dives to the pits.
Well, I just thought he was, and we talked earlier, he could catch right up too. So I think they'll just take gas and go.
I'm sure that's all they'll do. A couple of gallons of fuel. Petty in the pits for only 2.5 seconds. As you see it on our Ms. Lou clocks as Petty makes a late pit stop. Unless there's a yellow, I don't see how he can catch back up to Waltrip and Allison. And Allison has moved back into the lead now. Allison has taken the lead while Petty was in the pits.
Well, I just don't think that, well, I don't know. You know, I might have it all wrong, but I think they're going to have to stop too. I think Petty done right. Petty's back on the racetrack. Now he's got the advantage. They're going to have to stop, or I think they are anyway, and that's going to put him where he wants to be.
Richard knows he can go the rest of the way. Allison and Waltrip haven't stopped yet. They're your two leaders. Allison in the Gatorade 88 out front. Waltrip, the Mountain Dew number 11 in second spot. Petty half a track behind in third after a brief fuel stop for just a couple of gallons of gasoline as the race winds down. Don't forget, there's another 500-mile event coming to Pocono September 24th, 5th, and 6th. The Pocono GT 500 Grand Prix. The feature event on Sunday, a 500-mile event for the IMSA Camel GT cars and stars. Same cars you see at Daytona and all around the United States and the Camel GT circuit. Allison, your leader. Waltrip in second spot. Petty quite a ways behind now in third. A tough break for Richard if he doesn't get a chance to catch up. He led for so much of this race this afternoon. Here's Allison out front. Waltrip trying to sneak by him as they head toward the tunnel turn. Race in its very late stages now here at Pocono International Raceway. Waltrip and Allison duking it out for the lead. Neither have made a late stop for fuel. Petty has. We'll see if that fuel situation comes back to haunt either of these two great drivers. Allison, the winner of the first Pocono Grand National race, the Van Scoy 500, back in June, trying to double it up here at Pocono. He also has doubled this year at Daytona, winning the Daytona 500 and the Firecracker 400 back on July the 4th. So it's Allison, your leader. Waltrip in second. Petty quite a ways behind third. Labonte is fourth. Ron Bouchard is in fifth position as the field heads toward turn 1, looking for 2 laps to go. Allison and Waltrip door to door. Allison has the lead. Waltrip on the inside could not take it away from him as they head toward the tunnel turn. Is it strategy time now, Dick?
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's strategy. I think that I think Wallop give it a try, and Allison running him in the grass. He says, man, you're going to get by me. You're going to have to do it someplace other than right here, because I won't put you in the weeds.
On Pocono Speedway, if you are going to lead, you want to be out front right now?
Well, I think so, yeah. I think that makes the other guy have to pass you, and I believe I'd rather be in the front.
Allison is that point setter right now. He's out in front. Waltrip in second. Here's Labonte. Petty quite a ways behind. Coming down the main straightaway. Allison in the Dyguard 88. Harold Kinder in the flag stand has the white flag waving. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go for your leaders. Bobby Allison and Darrell Waltrip. Petty is behind them quite a ways in third position. Allison takes it low into turn 1. Last lap of the race. Where will Waltrip make his move, Dick?
Well, I think Wallop would try to do it in between in the short shoot, just after he passes the tunnel. I think that's about his best shot he can do. Get underneath him going into turn, and he's in trouble.
Waltrip is slowed down. Darrell wiggles the car, trying to get some fuel. I think you may be right. I think Waltrip may have run out of gas as they head toward the tunnel turn. Allison now stretches out to a huge lead.
Yeah, Allison says, I told you, boys, I got the biggest tank. And he's got it this time.
Junior's car usually gets great mileage, but Allison looks like the driver who's going to go all the way for the victory.
Boy, that's something, crowd going crazy, I'll tell you. I'm pretty excited myself.
Well, quite a race we have seen this afternoon here at Pocono International Raceway. And Allison will cruise around 3. Bobby Allison in the Gatorade Dyguard Buick. Car number 88 waves to the fans. Allison will take the checkered flag from Harold Kinder, and he has won the 1982 Mountain Dew 500 over Darrell Waltrip. And look at this, Waltrip getting a push. I don't think that's right, do you?
That's a no-no. You can't do that. You have to finish the race under your own power, and you can't be pushed across it. He can be pushed back into the pits, but he has to be running when he goes across there.
So that might hurt Waltrip in the final rundown. Your winner, Bobby Allison, and we'll be right back for the victory celebration. Quite a mob scene in Victory Lane here at Pocono International Raceway as the fans greet Bobby Allison, his second win here of the year in 1982 in the Gatorade Dyguard Buick number 88. Crowd of almost 100,000 fans cheering Bobby on to the win this afternoon. Really some domination for Allison and his team here at Pocono this season. They did a great job. A battle of attrition, gasoline woes, taking out Richard Petty and then Darrell Waltrip on the last trip around this 2.5-mile speedway. Allison out of the car after toweling himself off. He'll mount the victory stand here in Victory Lane, where our Dwayne Dow will talk to the winner of the 1982 Mountain Dew 500.
Well, that's 2 in a row. Bobby Allison.
Another one in the box.
All right.
Another one.
2 in a row, Bobby Allison, on the Misler Television Network. 2 in a row at Pocono, and you were the only front runner who didn't run out of gas.
Well, I followed those guys, and you know, they were leading, and it takes a little bit more gas to lead, and we knew that. Our strategy was to follow them.
Last year, Waltrip caught you in the second half of the season. How about the feeling of beating Waltrip today?
Well, I'm really pleased with beating them with the Gatorade car. Of course, we won the Mountain Dew race. We appreciate them sponsoring the race, and Gatorade come through for the win.
This certainly seems to be Bobby Allison's year on the Grand National Circuit.
Well, right now it's doing pretty good. Let's hope it keeps on. The guys are working awful hard.
Hey, who is this good-looking woman to your left here?
This is my sweet little wife, my bride of 22 years.
Judy, right?
Yes.
Give him a kiss. Go ahead.
All right.
What about this man?
He's terrific.
As the older he gets, the better he gets?
Absolutely. You know, you mellow with age.
How about that, huh?
All right, the family Allison on the Misler Television Network and at Pocono, the champions. Now let's go back to Rick and Richard.
Thanks, Dwayne. We certainly have seen a great afternoon of Winston Cup Grand National stock car racing here at Pocono International Raceway. Mountain Dew 500 is history. Dick Brooks and Bobby Allison seems to really have this speedway figured out. 2 wins for him here this year.
He certainly got it this year, and I'll tell you, it's I've been around a lot of racing. I've seen a lot of racing. I've been involved in a lot of racing. I've never seen one better than today. The weather was perfect. The crowd went crazy. And I'll tell you, these people up here just enjoyed this, and I enjoyed watching them, enjoyed watching the race, and certainly enjoyed working it.
And it boiled down to 3 of the real stars of the sport at the end of the race. Allison, Darrell Waltrip, and Richard Petty. Couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Well, you know, it generally comes down to some of the old-time people in racing, and it certainly did today, and they just done a heck of a job, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and I was glad to be here.
Myself included, and we're looking forward to coming back here next year, hopefully, when these cars will be back on this 2.5-mile tri-oval for a couple of more Winston Cup Grand National races. So, great afternoon. We hope you enjoyed the program as well. We'll see you next time.